post onto. Of course, I lost where it was. Always gotta love the little image. Starting now. Cool. Alright, so we just jump right into, nope, it's the first of the month. So let's call this BoD meeting to order. In attendance, we've got Austin from Astral Winds, Cameron from Loop and Moon, Jason from his previous position, Sean from Ravenstone, and myself as King, and CEO, not the make-believe side of things. Do we have any items for business? Anybody want to bring anything up? Nope.
Oh yeah, this is a board issue. I'm sorry.
For the BoD. Okay.
Yeah, it's not on the agenda, and I apologize for that because I didn't think of it as a board issue, but it really is. Northreach has been selected, finding to be considered for a pilot program with joint fundraising with AI. So there's 3 kingdoms that we're going to that AI is approaching to see if they would like to pilot some joint fundraising, utilizing AI's 501c3 status and some other projects in order to try and raise money for both of our groups. Briefly, the way that is presented to work is that we would find fundraising opportunities that require the resources of both groups, raise some money. Because of the nature of 501c3, all of the money goes to AI BoD, and then they in turn spend it on something that meets their mission statements that we find valuable. So it might be like paying to run an event or something like that, to basically offset our or give us some value in the fundraising. So they're doing that in Alaska, Colorado, and California are the 3 states that we're testing the waters with to sort of show proof of concept. And the goal is to try and raise nationwide $8,000, which is what it will cost for AI to register to do business in the remaining 47 states, which would allow them to do online commerce and some other things that cross state lines. So essentially, the board would need to discuss and potentially vote on whether or not they're amenable to that, if they want to be part of that program or not.
Yeah. And what steps or stages would we be committing ourselves to? Like,
you'd be committing yourselves to telling AI that we have a green light to start making plans. The AI would have to register to do business in Alaska, and then we'd have to put together like specific fundraising plans, but they don't want to go to all that effort if the kingdom's not interested in participating.
Oh, okay, so there's no preliminary plans or anything yet. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's.
Okay. I would like to know personally, like, what type of like percentage, like, are we getting back, or what type of like percentage of the 8,000 we're looking for, or
right now
before I commit to anything.
Right now you're committing to explore. You wouldn't be committing to exploring that option. You wouldn't be committed to actually doing anything. So once we start to flesh out what the individual activities would look like, at that point we would discuss how money would be split and everything. For the most part, I imagine it would be sort of a 50-50 kind of thing. But that's each event is individually negotiable when it comes to that stuff. And these would be fundraising events that are not what we normally do. Like it wouldn't come out of our standard fundraising campaign. It would be other avenues of fundraising that we can leverage because they're currently a 501c3 and we're not.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I'm interested in the idea. I just would like a bunch more specifics before I commit to anything.
Okay. We can't give you specifics if the kingdom's not interested in committing to being interested.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm interested.
So if you guys vote no, then we're not going to put any effort into figuring out what those opportunities.
What's the timeline that they're looking for expressing interest?
There's a board meeting for the AI on the 18th. And so that's when they're going to kind of finalize things on their end. And right now, I would like to be able to tell them at that meeting whether or not the three kingdoms are interested in moving forward.
Okay. We have another meeting on the 17th. Would that be a sufficient turnaround time?
Yeah, as long as it's for the 18th, I'm good.
Okay. Frozen Coast is missing, so I'd like to,
Yeah, or I mean, if the board needs more time, that's fine too.
Sure.
But if I get it on the 18th, then I can bring it to the next board meeting there.
Okay. I think this gives. I think 2 weeks is plenty of time for us to kind of like stop, go. Yeah, is this something we want to pursue? And yeah.
Right.
So cool. So we'll save that for 2 weeks from now. So apparently Fairbanks is jumping the gun and already committing interest.
Already committed.
Already 100%. Moving to another state if needed.
Done.
All right. Is there anything else that we want to bring up for the BoD?
I already got the time off, so.
Okay. Does anybody want to move to close?
I motion to adjourn the BoD meeting.
I'll second it.
Cool. All yay? Yay? Step over each other.
Okay.
Anybody nay? No. Cool. Adjourned. 8:54. That was fairly fast. All right. So the CoC meeting beginning now. Woo! Transition the scene with waving hands. Cool. Item number 1. DC updates. Anything quick? I'm going to cap you at like 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay. We started the second round of advertising, which is stuff in a lot more detail. I have made contact with every single event or activity organizer, which includes all of the D&D DMs, the official Magic referees, the Warhammer people, and we're working on finalizing the electronics or esports side of things. So all of that's going along really well. I've approached a couple of gaming store sponsors. I got them signed up as sponsors, and I got Tier 1 Comics is going to donate all of the Warhammer tables that we need. So we'll have some sweet, awesome looking terrain and tables for that. I've got right now 3 vendors have signed up so far, and I haven't even really started to approach or push for those yet. So the next step is to start approaching the esports side for sponsors. We're going to talk to the computer stores, gaming stores, things like that, see if they're interested in sponsoring anything. I need the CoC to figure out what they're going to want to do for a storage solution after Dungeon Crawl, because it's going to be desperately needed. We're going to be buying some sort of bulky items. I'm buying 8 mobile TV carts for our console gaming stuff. Those will need to go somewhere. I have a plan B if you guys don't have a storage solution, but a storage solution lets us keep it. Otherwise, I'm going to sell them to event attendees for less money than we paid for them, but try to recover something off of it if we can't afford to store them. Other than that, I have all of the infrastructure stuff is done. I got a signed contract from the fairgrounds on our pricing, which is all very good. And from a financial side of things, we're in fantastic shape, and our team is organized and moving right along. So I added the King to all of the lists and message groups, so he's got information there. And that's it. That's where we're at right now. I ordered 500 flyers, shiny, glossy paper. It's on the way.
Cool. I think you're just within your 2 minutes envelope. Any last minutes? Or sorry, any last words?
Nope, I'm done, man. Pro.
Oh, cool. All right.
I do have one question.
Oh, sorry.
What exactly is our set concrete price for the site fee?
That's a secret. I have to tell you now. I don't want to tell you now.
$100.
I want to tell you guys when it's all done, so I can seem like a miracle worker. All right, I'll tell you guys now, since that's a valid question. I was trying to keep it a secret, so I see my Scotty from Star Trek. But so the price, if you go and price everything out with their published prices, was going to be $8,700. Drake and I went over there and we did a walk around, and I spent about an hour with Sherry talking to her, and I talked her down to $2,898.
Nice.
So
that's
excellent.
I now have a tremendous amount of wiggle room to make the event even more awesome.
Awesome. I had already heard that number, so
Finger guns Pagorin.
I have snitches. So.
They get stitches because I only told like 3 people.
Wasn't me.
Oh. Alrighty.
No, we're positioned. We're really well positioned financially for this. And the response. And I'm gonna take a couple more minutes. Sorry, you can leave me. Yeah, it's Drasek's fault. So as I've been traveling around talking to like the gaming stores and things like that, I put up flyers. Not once have I put up a flyer and had somebody not say, "I've seen that." Like I've heard about that. Like people are super jazzed about this event. They're already talking about it. And I mean, like people that you wouldn't expect. I was printing out flyers, and some little old lady was like, "I've seen that on Facebook."
Really?
So, yep. And I was at the FedEx store. So far removed from any kind of like demographic that we would expect the people to know. And so word is already starting to get out, and that's with the very limited amount of advertising that we've done. This coming week, my intention is to, now that I've talked to all of the event coordinators and activity leads, we've got a lot more details about how the activities are going to be run and what our attendees can expect. So now we're doing that second round of advertising push so that there's more for them to look at. Once I get that all nailed down, I'm going to ask every member of the kingdom to like personally just share the crap out of this stuff so it spreads even farther. But just with that first round of just sort of throwing it out just a little bit, people know and they're excited. And so we're gonna more than break even on this event. Like our break even is 200 people, and that's gonna be easy. So super excited about that.
Cool. All right. Any other questions for?
Sorry.
Your fault, Sean.
I got nothing else.
All right. Nothing else for DC. Cool. All right, Wolf's Cry. So we know the 2 bids. Do you guys want to vote? Do you want to talk about it anymore?
I think some good discussion is important.
You want more discussion? Okay. Well, the floor is open. Steal the mic if you want.
So we've talked about this a bunch online and in person already, but I think it's good for people who are watching understand what our process is. Instead of us just picking one, right? It's really close, like for most of us, right? Both have like solid teams that we both asked them to fill out their bids a little bit more, and they both did that, which was nice. Personally, I'm going with a little bit more towards blue, but I see arguments for both sides. Kraken's more in the area. Blue has a little bit more experience with events.
With this type of event. But, we were talking about how Kraken has some experience managing and leading folks, and he's done fairly well in that in some places, so that's really awesome. They
both have great teams.
Their teams.
People to support them.
One thing that was really interesting that I noticed when I looked at them is that some of the team members were the same between them, which is awesome. Because it's like, hey, you're picking quality people. What I thought was interesting is that they had them in different positions. And I was like, oh, okay, I could see how that person plays really well in that spot, but they can also play really well in another spot. So that was really cool to see. Though I would also point out people that like those subcrat positions. You can play the field with everybody because it's like we're only going to pick one of the bids, so you could be in everybody's bid if you want. So if you want to do Feast, talk to everybody that's putting in one.
It's not like 2 gangs fighting it out for something.
Right.
And we're all trying to make this event better.
Yeah. Does anybody have, Sean, you got anything you want to add, or?
I got nothing.
Cameron?
Nope.
Okay. Jason, did you want to share any of your thoughts, or?
No, I mean I shared them with you guys individually, but I'm not a voting member of this council, so
okay. That's fair. All right. Do we want to just jump into the vote then?
Let's do it.
Okay. Astro wins. You're first. You're on the left of my screen.
How are we doing this vote? Is it like blue Kraken neither, or is it yes? I don't know. What's the
blue Kraken, or I guess you could pick neither.
Does whatever vote get the most, or does something need a majority?
Let's go with most.
Okay. I'm gonna go with blue.
Okay. Cameron.
Kraken.
John.
Blue.
Okay. And I'm gonna not vote because, yeah. So I think we're leaning towards blue at the moment. Does anybody want to try bloody murder or anything about that?
Just to throw, like, would it inhibit the process to throw a message out to Red, because she's read all the bids and had time to review the situation?
That's true. Yeah. I know she's literally working right now. I don't know if she's allowed to have her phone. But let's find out. I was hoping that she was going to contribute to the chat a little bit more, but
right, because she'll either make it a landslide or a tie.
Right.
And if it's a tie, then you have to vote.
You want to know what I'm voting for?
Oh no, I'll put you in the hot seat.
Red. Who do you vote for?
It's all Blaster. All right, I'm messaging too.
For the WC bid. As it all lights up. Now I'm going to start doing one word at a time. Send.
Oh man, I'm totally one of those people where like every sentence is a separate message.
I try to get it all into one, but then sometimes it's like walls of text, and then I'm like, that's not good, but...
Then to send about my enter key.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So this is a little pet peeve of mine, since we're just like randomly waiting. Why do people change the symbol on messenger groups to the finger thing instead of the thumbs up? It does not have the same meaning. I know, but that totally destroys the meaning, because then they're using it as a thumbs up in place of it, but now they're just finger gunning me inappropriately.
I'm a big fan of the fire symbol.
I like the elephant one.
Ooh.
Sorry, I'm at work. Does that count as a no vote?
No isn't an option.
Yeah.
No. I think it's valid to say I don't like either of these bids. We're going to open it up once again.
We're just going to make Shelby do it. That's what she gets for walking out of the meeting. Oh.
We've made a decision. Just send her a message. You're the autocrat.
Congrats. All right, well, we'll give Red a couple more seconds to deal with.
We can table it and move on.
Yeah, I wanted to get this decision done because I don't want to have... Yeah.
Well, we can do it at the end of the meeting.
Right, we could do it at the end of the meeting. So, the next item we were going to talk about was the storage or Connex. Storage for the group, and that somebody saw a Connex for sale at $2,600. Yeah.
Pretty good.
$2,600 is pretty good. Pretty good price. The pictures made it look like it was in pretty decent shape. Didn't look like it was leaking or anything, but that's not the same as a visual inspection. At $2,600, that's a pretty significant price tag for us to just say, hey, it's happening. So what do you guys feel like for a plan of do you want to explore this with the group, or do you want to write it off and say, no, that's ridiculous, we don't have the money for it at all? And then if you want to explore it, how do you want to do so? Do you want to stop and talk among your parks over the next 2 weeks and make a decision by the 17th, get it to us online, or do you want to open it up to a completely public vote and try to get everybody's feedback on that? All right, we have our vote. I think that means Blue is going to have to show us what he's got.
God have mercy on his soul.
Yeah. So we're gonna ride him hard for for Wolf's Cry. Hey. All right. So yay, we got our Wolf's Cry autocrat. Looks like Blue is gonna step up and handle that for us. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for submitting the bid though as well, Kraken. That's awesome. I want to see more of those things from you. And yeah, you know, keep sending us stuff. Keep volunteering where you can. And we'll watch Lupin Moon and see who, which sucker gets voted in there. Anyways, enough of that. But the storage Connex solution. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, here's some information that you guys can take into consideration. One, we don't need it right this second. Right, we've got some time. I think that we probably want to have it in place by February, whatever our storage solution is. So if we wanted to get a Connex, we would have until mid-January to purchase it and arrange to have it moved and stored or whatever. So that's something worth considering.
We need a place to put it too.
I was just so Shelby and I are in the process of purchasing a house in Chugiak that has 5 acres on it, and we're totally willing to store a Connex there. And that puts it, pretty central to the whole kingdom for the most part. So that would be an option.
I don't know exactly where Chugiak is. I'm not gonna lie. Let me Google it real quick.
Just a little bit north of Eagle River.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
halfway between Anchorage and Palmer.
He's like 15 minutes from my house. Yeah,
okay.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, it's pretty close to. It's like right in between Ravenstone.
It's the road. It's the road that collapsed.
Yeah, it's that one.
that one.
So if you guys wanted to start inspecting Connexes, and if you found a good deal or whatever, that would be a reasonable place to put it. If for some reason the house sale falls through, I can probably find room for it on the property I'm at now. So either one would be fine.
I want to see that.
Right
around the corner.
That'd be a bit challenging. So those are both options, though, and I'm sure there's probably a couple of investors that would let us drop a Connex on their property if we needed to.
They also had insulated ones, but I don't think we need heated storage spaces. I'm not sure. I didn't review all of the stuff that we have, but for the most part, it was like lumber and plastic.
Yeah, I don't think we have anything that needs to be heated.
Okay.
If we did have like a small box of stuff that couldn't freeze, that could stay in my shop. That would be fine. That would be easy. Like the only thing I could think of that might be an issue would be like if we use glow sticks or something like that. But
tape adhesive gets ruined in cold. But yeah, it breaks down over. Yeah.
I freeze my duct tape all the time.
Well, it depends on how thick. But if you're using like the thin tapes and stuff like that, it can get messed up over time. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's definitely worth keeping an account. But yeah, so that's the thing. $2,600 for a Connex that's in really good shape is a pretty decent deal.
Yep.
And with that ad that I forwarded to you guys, it looks like that's a company that sells Connexes regularly. So I don't know that there's any huge hurry. Like if we don't buy it this week, it's going to disappear.
Right.
So, but we could probably have someone go down there and take a look at it and talk to the guy and say, hey, can we come back, in the middle of January and buy one from you? That might be worth looking into as well. But I think unless we don't have anything like this in the budget, that's a pretty big chunk of money. So the online public discussion is probably the way to go. I would recommend, make it an all thing discussion.
Right.
I don't know historically what Connexes are worth. But that price that you put on our messenger seat.
That's about the going price.
Okay.
Yeah, between $2,000 and $5,000, depending on how nice it is.
A 53-foot Connex would be pretty expensive.
How wide are the Connexes?
They're
like
about 10-ish feet.
10? Okay.
Yeah, about that. They're it's the exact same as what a semi truck trailer is. Like it just doesn't have the wheels.
Okay.
Let's see.
I think everyone's castle bid fits into that too.
Right. That's
Yes.
what I'm thinking.
And then the DC stuff.
I mean, our current castle would sit within a Connex rather easily.
We don't have a current council.
Okay, our previous castle would sit within a Connex quite easily.
Yeah, it would only take up about. It would only take up 8 or 10 feet of it. Because the nice thing about having a Connex like that, we can stack things really high in it.
Yeah.
There's no wind, like secure it inside, things like that. So, I mean, it's definitely worth pursuing. And, it's, I was looking, I think the cheapest sort of like traditional storage that I had found was, I think it was like $35 or $40 a month, but that was for a 10 by 10 space. So that's 1/4 of a Connex.
Right.
A 10 by 40 space you're looking at a lot more money. And it would probably take us 1.5 to 2 years worth of storage fees before the Connex was paid off or essentially paid for itself. So
doesn't take that long realistically when you're talking about storing that stuff. And then if looking at the new castle bids, which so I guess I'm the only one that's gotten to do that so far, but I think it.
I looked at the castle bids.
Okay, well, yeah. So that was going to be at the end of the meeting, but
I looked at them.
Yes, I'm sure Deli looked at one, but I'd love to have a storage place for it because that thing looks freaking awesome. You guys are in for a real treat, depending on yeah, it's going to be cool. So, yeah, I want a nice, sweet place to store that stuff though, because I don't want to see it get wrecked. And then the DC walls and stuff. And how much stuff are you thinking is going to be left over from DC? I mean, you started to hint at it with the TV stands. Do you think there's a lot of other product that will be?
How many feet of the Connex do you need?
Right.
So I'm trying really hard to rent things wherever that's financially viable, so that we don't have to store a ton of stuff. I managed to find. Like Drake and I collaborated a little bit, and we came up with a solution for cutting off the dungeon from the rest of the event that's way cheaper than what I had initially sort of planned with. And we're just gonna make a giant curtain. Like we found some fixtures in the ceiling that we can hang it from, and that'll be way cheaper. We can do the whole thing for $50 or $60 instead of like $500 or $600. And so,
I felt that.
Which makes the pipe and drape divisions way more economical to rent. I think I can do that for about $500. So, so the only things that I'm buying that will need to be stored will be, I think the TV carts are really the only big items that I have on the list right now. So, and they're, just rolling carts that'll hold a 70-inch TV.
Yeah.
So,
but it'll still be a good thing to have a centralized North Reach location to be putting items that we currently have distributed across everybody's garages and home properties. Thank you to everybody that's been storing that stuff, and that's super awesome, but I'm sure it'd be helpful to get it all off your property too, so.
Right,
and onto another member's property. Like, ultimately, it'd be nice if we eventually got some sort of land or rented a place to store this that's not one of our members.
If it's at my place, the Kingdom would have 24/7 access to it for the most part. And they would have it be locked, and they would have a key to it, and so it wouldn't be too much of an invasion of my, like it wouldn't be like they were going into my garage or something like that. It would be their own little space, so that would work. The other thing that I was thinking, one of the other things on the list is for Dungeon Crawl, I'm setting up a like personal storage area for people that bring stuff that they want to not carry around with them the whole time. And so I needed to buy a bunch of like plastic shelving or gorilla racks or something like that. And so if we were going to buy a Connex, I can buy shelving that will work really well in that, so that we can then sort of dual purpose it.
Yep.
So if that's what we decide to do, I'll keep that in mind, because some steel gorilla racks would be way better than some cheap plastic shelving if we're going to put it inside the Connex.
Yeah.
Are you looking for like those shelves where you like take out a key or something?
No,
that's your key.
No, the storage area is going to be off limits. Like you have to go through the admin area to get to it, so it'll be under our control. But if somebody brings in their desktop computer for the fall or whatever for one activity, and they don't want carry it around the rest of the time, then they can put it there and we can put their badge number on it, and then
okay, like some sort of sticker.
We could have, you know, like plastic totes or something too to help organize people's stuff. Just have it on. But if we, I mean, I have some recommendations for some really solid shelves that you can get from Costco. These things are.
That's the idea. So,
yeah.
And I've got tons of the black plastic tubs with the yellow lids that you get at Home Depot. Black Friday, I actually bought a pallet of them, so I got a lot. And so those are nice things. So if you don't know what thing you're looking for, it's not like you can browse real easily. It'll help secure everything, and that way people will have a place to put stuff. So we'll look at getting some racks that would work for whatever our storage solution is. So we can have good racks.
But yeah, so we should. I think that we should move towards something like that. That's one of the reasons I was trying to get the land overall to get the inventory kind of thing done and getting all that stuff set up. Now whether the Connex is really the final solution, I don't know, but that could be interesting.
Well, the nice thing about a Connex too is they don't really depreciate. Yeah. So if 3 years from now we decide we don't like it, we could probably sell it for pretty close to what we pay for it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, even if it is dropped in value, it would be less than if we had rented for that time, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even if we sold it $2,000, that'd be fine. And so that would be a pretty solid investment asset that we could, sell if we needed to.
Yep.
So I think that's a pretty reasonable way to go. It feels low risk.
Yeah. Whether we get this Connex or not, I think we should pursue getting a Connex.
I mean, transportation, relocation of it is going to be probably the most painful aspect of having it.
Yeah, we would need to find somebody. We either have to hire a company to move it. I mean, I don't imagine it costs more than a few $100 to move it, but we'll have to research that.
Yeah, as much as my truck can do, I don't think my truck's hauling a Connex anytime soon.
Well, and there's a good chance that the guy that's selling them is also able to, if we pay him, move them.
Yeah, here's $27.50. Make it appear here, please. Thank you.
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
Cool. All right, so we're knocking through our items. Anything else for the Connex? No? All right. Holiday schedules and absences. Just a reminder, I'll be gone for a chunk of December, but I will be here for the next CoC meeting. Anybody know that they might be gone for the next CoC meeting? That'll be on the 17th tonight. Nope. Okay.
It's all depending on work for me.
I just wanted to say that we'll be not having Park Day on the 22nd and 29th. Wait, let's see here. Yeah, it might be just the 29th. Yeah, we have a soft closure during that time, so we're.
When does? So I work for the university too. I know they're definitely closed the 24th and on. But...
Yeah, I don't know about the 22nd, but I know between Christmas and New Year's we do, right?
Yes, that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
The 29th, there's no way you're gonna get.
I'll check on the 22nd, but
okay, but tentatively
it might be that since Christmas Eve is on the 24th, they might just take that weekend as well. Who knows?
Right.
I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Or I'll get back to my park on it.
Park, right? Yeah. I mean, I was planning on a trip up into Fairbanks. No, not happening. All right. Anybody else have closures or any other warnings they want to discuss? Nope.
I wanted to say, are we forgiving officer absences for this last weekend?
Oh yeah, we definitely should be. Yeah. So anybody. Pretty much, if you were busy or dealing with earthquake-related things or just couldn't make it to a park or anything on either the first or second, humana, let's just forgive those.
Can we do a quick vote for that?
Sure, if you want to.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
Austin, you go first.
Yes.
Okay. Cameron.
Yes.
Sean.
Yes.
Okay. I think we got unanimous. All right, so this wasn't just a me decision, but we're backed by everybody, which is probably better. So yeah,
I don't know exactly where in the rules where that is. So
no. But a quick little redundant. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Because I don't think any. Yeah, I was busy dealing with water issues in my house, and I'm sure people were trapped on roads and the lack of roads.
Lack of roads is a lot more problematic than the roads themselves.
Right. So yeah.
I had to go off-roading just to go to my parents' house.
So anything else we want to bring up about schedules or holidays or anything like that? Nope. Okay. So I have not been doing digital bring it ins for the kingdom. So I don't know if you guys have noticed. I use this as my platform to also spout random bits of information at folks that happen to watch this. So I have this thing that I've started doing, the reminders for volunteer opportunities. So just generically, if you guys have something that you want to do for the kingdom or you want to do for your region, do not hesitate to shoot me a message. Send me something. Tell me what your game plan is. Even if it doesn't have like a traditional position name, that's fine. We can find, you can do it, and we'll figure out ways to get you to be able to do cool things. I have not assigned, for example, a Guildmaster of Engineers yet. A couple people have asked randomly about that, not so much expressing interest in doing it themselves, but we've got, like the new castle and that type of thing. I've opened it up to other folks. So I have a different strategy that we're trying right now. And so I didn't want anybody to feel like that they don't have the opportunity to do something or, help out. So dates that are coming up though, Three Barons Ren Fair. If you would like to coordinate our efforts there, which is really critical and a great fundraiser and outreach opportunity for us, the close date for that bid is December 10th. That is a week from today. So please submit those bids if you have them, or if you're going to have them. And then just a reminder, the Alaska State Fair. Well, you guys know we made a ton of money on that this last year. So thank you, Jason, again for your efforts in running that event for us. And if you or anybody else would like to, step up and try to run that event in 2019, please express your interest and submit a bid and a game plan for that by New Year's. That was the date that it ended up landing on, so we could discuss it by early to mid-January. So get that together. Those are the two closest ones. Then Dungeon Crawl 2020, we'll see how this upcoming one goes, and with that in mind, the close date for those bids will be February 25th. So that'll be the next council's. The next council will be the ones discussing that at that time. So February 25th. That's a ways out. Yeah, you guys, unless you rerun, are off the hook for the moment. All right, and then the extra bonus piece that I did not have on anybody's agenda is that we got 2 castle bids that were submitted to us, and the CoC will be looking at those over the next couple weeks, and hopefully we'll get to start discussing them here soon. I'm assuming 2 weeks from today that we'll have had a chance to look at it and we can start talking about it and which direction we want to go. But from what I've seen so far, super awesome stuff. You guys should be excited and pumped. It is going to be way better and cooler than it was before. And for anybody that's helped put those things together, put the castle together, it will be so much easier as well, assuming things go to plan. So keep an eye on that. I want to share that stuff with you guys, but I also want to make sure that we're all on the same page and we're going in a direction before I get everybody hyped for something that may not happen. So anyways, does anybody have anything else they want to share on the air while we're still here?
You guys want a recap of ambassador stuff, or have you all been following the Circle Monarchs?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How about you give us a quick recap on that?
Okay, there's not a whole lot going on. There was the big controversial vote to kick Brennan out of the AI BoD,
which failed, right?
Yeah, it was 9 in favor of removal, 10 against, and 1 abstain. Okay. So it was pretty close. And then that's pretty much the big thing on there. There are some discussions that are going on right now. There's a discussion about how to handle underage members and what ages are appropriate for voting and things like that. Although I don't know that that's more than just how does every other kingdom do it. I don't know if there's an effort to do more than just discuss it. There's one other thing that just totally slipped my mind, and I'm going to pull it up right now since I've got it in front of me.
Hey, Jason, for the sake of everyone else who's listening, you want to tell how you voted? How Northreach voted?
Yeah, Northreach voted against removing Brennan from Amcard International Board of Directors, simply because we felt that the reasons that they were putting forward, or the reasons for the motion that was put forward, didn't warrant removal. If they were to vote to like censure or something like that, that might have been different. But essentially, what happened is Brennan got into a conversation. He was more combative and a little more insulting than he probably needed to be. But it was not the sort of thing that I would, kick a good board member off their board for. So I don't know. I wrote a giant wall of text explaining our vote, which is on there. And if anybody's very interested and doesn't want to dig it up, I'd be happy to dig it up and post it somewhere more convenient.
On the Circle of Monarchs.
Yeah. It was a very large discussion, so there's a lot of comments regarding it that you may have to wade through. But it was there. So it was one other discussion item, and I was actually sort of interested in how the Circle felt about it. Oh, nope, that's not it. I apologize. Oh, that's what it was. It was the technical director. So there's a situation which is being discussed sort of in general. The technical director for Amcard International is a gentleman named Payam. He's from Winter's Edge, and he was recently banned from Winter's Edge for 6 months. There's a big long wall of text for that as well. But their king and prime minister or GMR, all three of them decided that his behavior was inappropriate, and they banned him for a CoC 6. They're discussing right now whether or not being banned in your home kingdom should have any impact on an appointment made by the Circle of Monarchs to conduct business for AI. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. And then, if you have one monarch ban somebody, does that override the decision made by 20 monarchs to do, international business? I don't know. Like, I kind of want to say that you should, if you're banned, you shouldn't be working there. But at the same time, if all the other monarchs have put you there, I don't know. So I kind of go back and forth on it. And I suppose also, what you were banned for would have a lot more bearing on it. If you're banned for sexual assault, then, get out.
How much wiggle room did they have on their discussion? Is it just the discussion, or was there a formal vote requested?
There's no formal vote. This is just a discussion topic at this point in time. So if you guys are ever on the Circle of Monarchs list, it's the post topics are very clearly delineated as to whether or not it's a discussion or an official vote. Discussions almost always happen before official votes. So there's generally some talk about something, and then we'll do the vote. And then, of course, there's always more discussion with the vote, but the bulk of the discussion happens during that discussion topic.
So is the general idea like he's basically like a lawyer on retainer? He's not really participating in the group. He's just kind of like someone we've hired.
He runs all of our electronic assets. So he's in charge of the Facebook page, Amcard.com, and Orc. And
is he still an admin on those?
Currently, yes, because he's the director of that stuff.
Okay.
So, yes,
I get the idea that one monarch could stonewall a vote, I guess, if he wanted to.
Right.
Like by just banning the person.
Yeah, like I think the position that I've been looking at, and this is sort of it's an older discussion. It was posted on November 5th, but it's sort of been we've been talking about it for a little bit. I may get to it here in the near future. Honestly, the vote for Brennan's position on AI sort of dominated the national discussion for a while. And now that that's over, maybe we can focus on some stuff that will probably have more impact on us. My personal feeling, if I were to have a vote for anything, it would be if somebody gets banned in their home kingdom, or really gets banned from any kingdom, and they're one of our national officers or assistants, that automatically triggers a vote of the COM on whether or not to retain them. That's sort of my like where I would like to see it go, because then that automatically makes the COM discuss it and deal with it, rather than taking the time to decide whether or not we want to discuss it and then.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. It should go. Yeah, it should be immediately brought up to the COM as a point of discussion, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're getting kicked out of the spot. It just means, hey, we're either going to affirm that we still want this person doing it, or yes, we'll confirm that that person needs to step out.
The important thing for that is that we have 2 voting windows every month. So whenever they post something for a vote, and I think it's the 1st or the 15th. So all the discussion and voting happens during that window, and then we don't put any new votes up until the start of the next window. So it means if somebody does get banned, it means the COM will vote on it, and action will be taken in at most 4 weeks. So if it just barely misses the first window, then we start the next window and discuss it. That'll close 2 weeks after that. So any other process could end up taking a really long time. Discussion about it, and then it goes to a vote, and it can take months if we don't have a process in place. So that's kind of where I'm sitting at it, but I wanted to sort of let you guys know what's going on. And as always, if you guys have questions, you're welcome to just ask me, and I will. I'll try not to bore you too much, but I'll give you the cliff notes whenever we have these meetings. There's usually not a lot going on, but sometimes someone kicks the hornet's nest.
Usually, what's the time between like discussion and like the vote being cast?
It really depends. So each voting window is a separate like entity, right?
Yeah.
So a discussion takes place during one voting window, and if that discussion leans to the necessity of a vote, and unless somebody like motions and seconds for a vote, then the XCOM chair, which is Randall, will decide whether or not it needs to be voted on. And then that would start in the next window, and then everybody would have 2 weeks to respond to that. So, or however long it is, it might be 9 days or whatever, but every 2 weeks a new window opens. So normally it goes discussion, then at the close of that window, a determination will be made whether or not it goes into the next window as a vote. Does that make sense?
Yeah. If there is significant amount of time, and like we have a meeting between the time, it'd be nice if we had these this is the only first time I've heard of this update before happening. So it'd be cool, like if you had an update of like, this is your thought process, this is kind of like where you're leading, and what you're probably going to vote on.
Sure. And I apologize, but I've been in touch with Malaric about it pretty extensively. I didn't sit down and talk to this committee about it, which I can absolutely do.
This is my first time requesting it, so I don't have any blame on you or anything. I'm just
no, that's fair. But I mean, if that's something you guys are interested in the past, I've just asked you guys if you're interested, and everybody's been pretty content to, I don't know, just let me swim over my pool by myself. You guys want to know? I'll give you all the details. It's all public, so you guys can look at it yourselves too.
Yeah.
But for the sake of brevity, I'm happy to.
Just something to extend these meetings as long as possible with Nilarian.
Try to have short, fast meetings. It's never going to happen, is it? Speaking of extra bonus material, so I was going through and trying to catch up our corpora and admin manual, our bylaws and admin manual, and all the votes that we've done, and all the stuff that hasn't made it in yet, based on what we've voted. And I feel like I almost had it done, but after the earthquake, I have no idea where I left it, so I'll be returning to that and going through with a fine-tooth comb before releasing it to everybody, to everybody's eyes, to then double and triple and quadruple check it. So that should be coming out again soon. I just had a number of people. It was funny because I think as the last all thing closed, I had a number of people all over the place that were asking, "Oh, where's the updated admin manual? Where's the updated this and that?" And I was like, yeah, it's on the list. I just had to pool all the pieces, make sure I got everything in the right spots, and then of course editing files that are older gets tricky because just technical issues with that.
Cool.
The reimbursement.
Off the top of my head, this is the first change I know of to either of them.
That for
That's Kingdom.
For our group, yes, but there is a few that made it in from the previous reign, and they didn't make it into the updated text, or they didn't make it into the text yet. So I was going back and adding those as well, like adding the ambassador position. That was actually a new section or a new item that everybody voted to have that added. So I just remember that one vividly. So I got that one partially in. Yeah, I think the one that really threw me off technically was the stupid spacing on the one that Gideon was asking me about, the crown quals, because that's important to you guys, because crown quals are coming up. Speaking of which, letters of intent are open. So submit your letters of intent to run for all those awesome regional positions, and then give Cameron a run for his money, and submit a letter of intent to run as Kingdom Prime Minister. I promise to only heckle you about 80% as much as I currently heckle Amanda or Mara. I message her a lot. So, save Cameron. He does not know what he is signing himself up for.
The reimbursement form too is not on the website anymore.
The reimbursement form.
Yeah,
that's true. My understanding is that I don't know if we were still doing that. I don't know. I remember having a discussion, and then I walked away. I thought I walked away with a clear understanding of what was going on with that, and at this moment I do not have that clarity. So I will get back to you on whether or not that is a intentionally missing or accidentally missing.
All right.
Yeah, so watch for a new admin manual. Assume that the crown quals that you all voted on, all your cool woodworking, metalworking, and all that stuff will be valid and legal categories that you can enter your crown quals into. And yeah, does anybody have anything else? Open floor. Any last minute items? Oh, taking the silence as we are done for the live portion. Thank you, everybody. I mean, I'm sorry for everybody for having to watch this. No, thank you for watching, and we'll see you out there when the roads, clear up.